do with your life? Oh, daddy dear, you know you're still number one. But girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun. When the working day is done, oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun. Wanna have fun. Girls wanna have. Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. I wanna be the one to walk in the sun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have. That's all they really want. Some fun. When the working day is done, oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun. Wanna have fun. Girls wanna have. Just wanna. They just wanna. They just wanna. They just wanna. Girls wanna have fun. Just wanna. Just wanna. Just wanna. They just wanna. They just wanna. They just wanna. Girls wanna have fun. Girls just wanna have fun. They just wanna, they just wanna, they just wanna, they just wanna. Girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
See, we need you, Karen. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. Mr. Maestro there, he ran out of room, so he just created something off the piano.
That was Amazing Grace opened up today's show. That's her new name.
Amazing Grace, that's
Amazing
the stage
Grace,
name.
exactly.
Stage name, Amazing Grace. And I'm glad that Amazing Grace is here today because I woke up this morning to an email sent by a buddy.
Amazing Grace.
And Amazing Grace, and they went to a function, which we're going to talk about a little bit, and all of a sudden, all these announcements were made. I didn't know we were going on a yacht.
Are you going on a yacht? We're going on
Not
a
a
cruise.
yacht, a yacht.
A yacht, a cruise.
What do you got in there? A yacht.
I don't know. What did you make me?
A yacht.
A yacht, a cruise, an art gallery, a whole lot of things.
It hosts, I think, 150 people or something.
I don't know.
It's huge. It's a big ship. And there's suites, and I guess there's entertainment you could do on there. I don't know. I had no idea he was going to do that.
Yesterday we woke up to an email about a networking event featuring us. Today we woke up to an email about another event here featuring us. I don't think they sleep.
No. But we're going to the meatball room. Does anybody know the date? Do you know the date of
Yes,
that?
Tuesday night,
Next Tuesday?
the 7th.
The 7th. So all of you are invited to the meatball room, I guess, right? Is that where it is?
Yes, the 7th at 5:30 to 7 o'clock at the Meatball Room, Federal Highway in Boca Raton. Meet and greet, and I believe it's being put together by the Networking Beast.
So Linda, you got to be there. Karen, you got to be there.
Sally.
Sally, you're going to be there. Sally's...
Did Lynn leave? I guess Lynn must have left.
I don't know. I don't see him.
He left?
left?
Okay. He came in, did his thing, and off he went. Karen's here, our host of the Latin Hustle and Amazing Grace, opened up today's show. You know what? It's all about resiliency today. I think that's going to be our hashtag of the day.
Resiliency.
Not victim, but resiliency.
It just goes to prove that no matter what you want, no matter what obstacles are in front of you, you want to do something, you do it. Amazing Grace, she was nice enough to come and sing for us. She sang yesterday. And she is a lot of fun.
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
the amazing thing about this.
Yesterday, there were so many millennials in one place, in one room. I thought, oh my gosh. So many people. Katie and I were like trying to share a corner in Studio B. We're having like panic attacks over there by ourselves.
Were they out here?
Everyone was out here, and then
The
Katie and I
millennials?
were in there.
I
And
think
then she moved back there.
She wanted all the millennials to show up for her show, for
They
the Meta
did.
show.
I don't think she expected for the Meta Lifestyle show.
And they were on the ceiling, they were in the lobby, they were everywhere.
Someone was here selling his clothing.
Yes, that interesting company.
It's a name we can't say on our show, but it's a branded name, and I guess it's
They're still
sweat
trying to
workout
find out
wear.
if we could say it.
Well, I aired yesterday on the radio, so I guess it was okay.
But Josh was careful to tell them not to use the word. It's the S word. But that's the name of his brand. That's what he sells. And a lady came in here. I noticed they were here. I came to buy the black bag.
Unbelievable.
And I said, well, you want me to go get it? No, don't disturb him.
But it was a really great show.
It
It was
was.
nice to see everyone's opinions, a different perspective of following your passion, resiliency, money. Money for our generation is different than we feel for money for their generation. And I remember how I felt at their age, and I still got traumas that I feel in my age. So things we
We
got
were
to
talking
figure out.
about age differences, about when I was 21. I got married at 21.
I was 22.
The hell is I thinking?
Exactly.
And the way they're going about their business today, everything's changed.
I was 22 when I got married. I had Chelsea at 24
You lived in Texas when you got married?
here, and then we moved to Texas, and I had Chelsea.
I lived in New York. You see, in New York, you're expected to get married. That's not true.
I think we were
I can't even
we
say
were
that
expected
joke.
to get married at our age. You were 19.
You had 19 children.
2 at 21.
We got that wrong. I
How
was
many
married
kids do
at
you have?
19.
Although I think Steve wins on the oldest grandchild.
Oh, well, his son was 15.
I know, and he didn't know. That's an
No,
unbelievable
right,
story.
That is, yes, it is. I thought, you have a grandchild? My God, I married an old man.
Okay, enough of the juice. Just take it easy.
I love having.
Was it amazing, Grace? You told me you have 4 kids?
Yes, I have 4.
4, right?
And one's here.
One in heaven.
That's 5.
Oh my goodness.
You have like a lot of children.
Do you see what happens here?
And
You don't know what happened?
It was a joke. I don't know how it happened.
She
The
slipped
only mic
himself
that
5
has reverb
times.
is the one you're saying. That's fine. And her son is here
My
in.
youngest son is here, Thomas. Thomas, say hi.
Hi, Thomas. He's playing
Thomas is-
football. You and he can play football together.
Yeah, Thomas is going to be totally embarrassed because Mama's going to be doing some other songs that she don't know about yet. But
How old
listen.
are your kids, Grace?
14, 16, 22, and 23.
And you're the
14,
youngest.
16, 22, and 23.
Wow.
All boys or girls?
3 boys and 1 daughter.
How old is the daughter?
23.
She's the oldest.
Yes.
Wow. Reminds me of my sister who is the middle.
Unbelievable. 5 kids.
You're the oldest sibling, and nobody knows your birthday. Her birth certificate was lost.
I still don't have it, by
So
the
they
way.
make up the days.
I started filling it out. I'm going to ask Sally. Probably knows really when I was born.
Okay.
She knows. She knows everything.
I heard you were born in a truck. Is that true?
I was born on Good Friday, apparently.
In a truck, I heard.
Could
Not an
be.
ambulance, like a truck.
Could be. I don't even know.
Because your mother used to party and stuff.
She's like, no.
No.
No, I don't think so. Not back in that day.
back in the day.
Anyway, it was a great show yesterday, the Meta Lifestyle Show. I learned a lot about their generation. So every last Tuesday of the month, she's going to be featuring the millennial generation.
Yes, I'm sort of excited to see that because they were all over the place.
And Grace got to sing, which was very cool. And then you and I got to do an interview because apparently we're the featured story on the March edition of the Meta
It's
Lifestyle
supposed to be a
magazine.
10-minute interview. You got to learn to shut up.
Me?
Yeah.
You like how I
It's like
spun
an hour.
that?
Yeah, every time we talked about you, you sent it back to me.
I know.
You're going to have to stop
I kept
doing
waiting for you to say stop sending it back to me.
that. I
but
didn't
yet,
want to do that because they were into this whole story thing. It's like, Linda, she has stories. So sometimes you want to tell people the stories, right? And this one, when we started to get her story, she would send it right back to me.
I know.
You're lucky I have stories.
You always have a story. You told a story I can't believe you told the story of
Why?
how when
I
you and
know
I
which
met.
one. I
That
know.
one. I was
Why?
kind of surprised
Why?
because nobody knows.
You talk that language with Sally all day long.
Talking to entities, spirits, guides.
They're listening, but they're happy with the way everything's going.
Do you see them when you talk to them?
No, I hear them. I mean, I can see maybe a slight, like a light type of thing.
Look, there's a spirit at the door right now.
Yeah, hi, George. But I hear all the time.
Now,
You see them.
Before, okay, let's move on. Before we get to that, I wanted to ask Amazing Grace about the beautiful, colorful email that we woke up to.
All right.
Because I have more questions than answers. And people are texting me questions that I have no answers to. Now, I'm hoping she can fill us in on some of the things that he put
Well, it came
down.
from Grace, kind of.
Oh, okay, so the yacht. Let's start with the yacht.
The emails actually came from Bernard Korn.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I thought because I saw your name in it. So have you ever been on this yacht that he's talking about?
I visited the yachts, yes.
So it's a real yacht?
Yes.
Oh, okay. People were asking me if I had been on it. I
Is
said,
it a
no.
cruise or are we just going out for the day?
Or does it just park there and look good?
No, it's a yacht that we will have access to, the studio, and as a thank you for collaborating with us to offer the art financing for your artwork here.
Wow. And how many people can we invite on this thing? It's big.
I don't have the details because it's hot off the press release, and I didn't realize I was going to be here on the show.
I think it's 152 people to fit
yeah, I
on
think
this
so.
big boy.
Yeah.
And the unique thing is, they asked me, will you be singing as part of the entertainment?
If you would like to me to sing, I will
Absolutely.
sing. Absolutely.
I think you should
it would
sing
be
everywhere
my
we go now.
honor.
I think, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's
Do you
right.
sing often?
I do. It's
She's
always
n-
been a passion of mine.
Well, now we're going to live the passion.
I love it.
I love that she's here to join it. You know what's even funnier about that is yesterday Michelle Landers, our numerologist, was sitting right where you sat, and we each got to pull a card. And I pulled, of course, the Three of Wands because my life is in threes and I carry a wand. And she says, you need to be around more water. You need to go on a cruise. You need to travel, but you need to be on water
It's true.
for the rest of this year.
That's what she said.
And then we get your email about the yacht on water. And it was
A
just
coincidence.
another, of course. Of course. And I'm thinking, Austin is
And they
nowhere
got hung
near
upside
water.
down.
Austin's nowhere near water, so apparently I need to go on another water vacation.
Well, the way things are going, there's more snow in California than in New York. Maybe there'll be water.
I know. New York is on like a snow day, I think. But it's exciting because we're going to be offering some new opportunities right here at the studio, some evening networking events, and then some great opportunities to purchase the artwork through special invitation and through a separate entity with Bernard.
Yes, Bernard is going to give us the synopsis. I'm supposed to read that material, but this is interesting the way his mind works. Because he never ever, he's like me, he doesn't stop at one idea, he goes to another. So when I woke up and I saw this thing, I said, holy smokes. Now, I've been to the Meatball Room, I know the owners, back in the day with Eden Critique. So this is going to be interesting. So that's Tuesday night at 5:30. Be there, show some support. I like to take a gang, you know.
Which is very coincidental that we actually can even be there.
Isn't that coincidental? And what is it with the word coincidental?
Sally's like, no.
Oh, no, not at all.
No.
It's not coincidental. It's the way it's meant to
Coincidental was
be.
when Amazing Grace and Bernie showed up here and we talked. And I'm telling myself, what is wrong with this
No, I
guy?
think it's when I tripped over her at the networking event 2 months ago.
Is that what it was?
I think we literally kind of like bumped into each other and right?
It was the luncheon.
I was at luncheon.
And he was so excited and so much energy that I started to hide behind her, saying, is this guy real? I kept whispering to her, is this guy for real?
He loves you.
But he's a great guy, and I gave him my word that we were going to show up that day, even though we were packed. But he said, okay, let's
Yep.
go. And it was nice. And the people there, we got to meet that hypnosis.
Presty?
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, she
Call her.
impressed me. She says, would you like me to hypnotize you right now? I went,
Have you ever been hypnotized?
no.
Anyone? You go in a trance all the time, Karen.
I have.
I think you still are.
It was one time we were at the state fair, and you know they have the hypnotist who gets people to go up on stage.
And you
so
did it?
I did it.
Were you hypnotized?
Yes.
You remember the incident, or you were like in
no,
the-
they video recorded it, so I
Really?
could see it.
Oh, this is.
Did you like
gonna
quack like
be-
a duck and do all kinds of weird
He
stuff?
had us like there was a word he would say, and like we'd all start dancing or something, and
Oh, we got to get that guy's name. But she supposedly can do that.
Yes.
Have you seen her work?
I have been to her clinic.
But I think she's
Fort
Really?
Lauderdale. Yes,
Have you ever
yes.
been hypnotized?
I have not.
See?
But I
Linda,
think
you
she's a
never know.
hypnotherapist, so she uses it not to make you quack like a duck, but
I didn't say she had to make you quack like anything. I think you could use a little hypnotherapy.
apparently so much so that Sally
You and
had,
Josh. we're gonna
that
put you
Sally
in
had a
can
message for me today. You know it's bad when your psychic comes in and says, I have a message for you. Yeah, unsolicited, but well needed.
together. Dawn, I got a message for you. Do not park close in your garage to the wall.
Let me tell you, my nightmare last night, I had two that woke me up at 4:45 this morning. One was I was at Bednar's, and I don't know why, I must have been talking to Josh and Katie about Bednar's, and I backed out, and I scraped their mailbox, and I knocked my mirror off, and I thought, no, not again. Nightmare one. Nightmare two was I was pregnant, and I gave the baby to someone else to raise. Again, so I've been up since 4:45, because of neither one of those situations can you go back to sleep from, especially pregnant at my age.
Yeah.
And
Like
you
I-
want to work with me? Why?
No, I got the hypnosis in here. We got to hypnotize this one.
Yeah, those are my
Immediately.
nightmares in the middle of the night.
The emails wake you up?
No, Well, I told I've been up since 4:45. No, I was good on those.
I sent the emails to Gio this morning. At 7 o'clock, he called me and says, what is this? I go, wait till you see what's coming.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, you're going to meet our new friend,
No,
Linda.
Karen's going to sing.
Oh, Karen's going to sing?
And then Linda.
And then Linda, and we're going to talk to Sally and see what else we've got going on. If you have any ideas on my nightmares, let me know. 888-994-4995. Even Chuck said he works with you. Why? Studio A. We'll be right
Smart
back.
man.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
Are you compromising your medical care for doctors out of your network? Are you tired of dealing with referrals to see a specialist? Are you aware that you can save up to $155 a month on your Medicare premiums? You need an all-in-one benefits company that can help with all of your Medicare plan needs. Call today, All-in-One Benefits Group at 954-614-5488. We're here to find an all-in-one plan for you. 954-614-5488. Call today for open enrollment.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yo sé que tienes un nuevo amor, sin embargo te deseo lo
And that is the host of the Latin Hustle, Karen.
Hump Day!
Hump Day!
Karen's come a long way. You see how much fun? I told you I went to a karaoke place called The Hideaway on Atlantic Avenue. You can't even find this place. I mean, it's down an alley, make a right.
Some interesting
I love the place, and they do karaoke. We should go, all of us, one night there, and you go up there and you sing. You know, because it isn't about how you sound. It's more about how you sort of dance and move to this thing.
Just having some fun.
And having some fun. And Linda's next. Linda, you're going to sing for us too today.
Linda, you sing?
No.
Nobody sings. Everybody has to try.
You don't want to hear me sing.
Linda's a new friend of ours, and she's a good friend of the host of Making Money with Laura Sanders. So Laura introduced us to Linda. I got to get all the L's right, and she's been here a couple times. She was here for Sally's show, and she came back for ours, and she's in the process of writing a book. But I'm always amazed how the stars align in this studio, how there's always a message. And today's message, I have to say, is resiliency and forgiveness. And you started off my morning talking to me about this. I started with Karen on this topic last week, and I'm sitting here during commercial break, and Grace tells me the same two words, and I'm like, it's amazing.
How come I don't get those words?
Because you're always serving people. You're always being the host with the most. And I'm just listening to what people have to say.
So you get all the good stuff.
I don't know about that. Maybe what you serve them gets out the good stuff.
What words did Linda give you?
Resiliency and forgiveness. And Grace just told me it's all about forgiveness.
Oh.
And
So
Sally
they,
gave me a message today also about speaking your truth. So it seems to be one of those days where we're supposed to speak our truth and forgive.
and Frank is writing in, there are no coincidences. And by the way, I'm mentioning Frank. Frank's books are now available here for purchase at the cafe. They come in at $15 a book, which I think is less than even Amazon.
And they're all signed.
And they're all signed. You come in and you buy the book, you take it home, and if you want to come back and let us know what you thought of it, good, bad, or indifferent, we'll welcome and put you on the air.
And I think she's going to be reviewing one of the books as well.
Who?
Lynn and Louise.
Oh, yes. And we're about to underscore a movie, Standing in Traffic.
Stuck in Traffic?
Stuck in Traffic.
You're standing in it. Everyone
Who
else is
knows?
stuck
Stuck,
in it.
standing. Did you see the manuscript?
No.
I sent
saw
it to
we
you.
got it. I haven't read it yet.
I started reading it. It's good stuff. It is powerful. So Wendy's going to have to come and check it out.
So she'll
Good
do
stuff.
that. So Linda, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Linda's got stories and stories and stories. So tell us a little bit about you.
I was a chiropractor for 30 years, and I heard a lot of stories in the 30 years that I was in practice. And I've had a lot of, everybody out there has stories that they could share. Every woman I know has been through some sort of trauma at some point, and learned how to forgive and the trials and tribulations that life throws at you. So somebody said, you know, you need to write a book. So I did. And in the book, it's the story of my life, which is kind of interesting. And I talk about, you know, forgiveness. I talk about when life beats you down, how do you get up again? Over and over and over. And everybody I read it to is like, oh, give me more, give me more. And, you know, I'm still at the point where we're still editing it. And I think it's a movie.
So let me ask you, when life beats you down over and over and over, how do you get up every day? How do you go to bed at night without panic attacks and wake up every day and keep going?
I don't know. I don't have any problem sleeping at night. When I have a lot on my mind, I'll fall asleep, but then I will wake up and it'll be right there. I learned at an early age that when you have so much in your mind, you got to get back in your body. And whether that means running, jogging, swimming, walking, whatever it is to get you from here to the physical state. And then when you're relaxed and you're in the physical state, you can come up with better solutions for your problems. It really helps me.
Now, I'm curious because you talk about different things that happen to you. The lesson learned is to think things through before you do them, or do they just occur without you knowing what to do when these instances occur? How do you stay away from constantly being beat up or pushed down or knocked down, for lack of a better word?
We all make mistakes in our lives, and it's the people that come through these mistakes and learn from them, not to repeat them. I was reading a book by Malcolm Gladwell, I don't know if you're familiar with it, called Blink. You meet somebody and you feel an attraction for them. or you feel an instant repulsion from them. And when you get that instant repulsion, you need to say, okay, this person doesn't belong in my space and in my life. And Sally will tell you, when you get that feeling that, you know, your hairs go up on your neck, I didn't follow that in my life.
Okay.
And I made a lot of mistakes because of it. So I think that innately we get a sign. And you just have to listen to it when you get it and not ignore it. And I know everybody in here knows what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a big help for me.
On resilience.
Resilience.
And you lost your husband.
Yes, I
raised
lost
your kids.
Yes, I
being
was a single mom. Yep. It's like so many women out there.
Did you raise them in New York or here in
No,
Florida?
I raised them in Florida. They were
Florida.
born both here. Yes.
A little easier in Florida, you think, than New York to raise kids? Or more
I was raised in
challenge?
New York. I didn't have any problems. No, it was great.
What is your message of your book? I don't want to get into it because I want people to buy it. I want to get it out there.
The message of the book is life's going to take you on some pathways that you don't necessarily want to be on. We all find ourselves zigging and zagging through our lives, and we all make mistakes. So what makes somebody different? What makes them arise from, you know, the depths of, you know, we've all been down. What makes you keep getting up? What makes you put a smile on your face in the morning? Gratitude is very important in this whole spectrum. Even when I was at my darkest points, and there have been a lot, I always was grateful. I looked around at the immediate things and I said, wow, I got 2 beautiful kids. I got this house. The other stuff will work itself out. And I kept telling myself that. And every time I found myself in a dark place, I went out, I walked, I gardened. Garden is very grounding for me. I don't know, I put my hands in the dirt, I do my orchids, I do my plants, and I feel much better. So that's what works for me. Music as well. So my message to people out there is don't let the stuff that life throws at you change you in a bad way. Learn from it and move on.
Because I would think when we all go through things, I look back to where I am now versus in my 20s. I am not that happy-go-lucky, it's everything's rainbow and unicorns. I have hope and I have faith. But you definitely have lessons that you protect yourself.
Yes.
But yet here you are taking the walls down and exposing yourself.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Because I have a message to give, and it's mostly to women, about life. You know, that husband that you thought was the perfect match might not have turned out that way. And people grow in different directions. You guys were talking about how young you got married. And I got married late. I met my husband at 26. I got married at 28. I didn't have my first kid till I was 33. So I already had some knowledge. But still, it didn't turn out the way I wanted to. So I had to do a lot of forgiveness. Yes, he died of cancer. But prior to dying of cancer, he tortured me. He tortured the kids. And I forgave him. I forgave him on his deathbed, and I never, ever said a detrimental thing to my children about my husband. Never.
The forgiveness is the key.
Forgiveness, gratitude, and resilience are the 3 terms of today.
See, those are the words of today. Grace, can you resonate with resiliency?
Absolutely. I too am a single mother for survivor domestic abuse. Took me 7 years to get out. Kept forgiving. Realized nobody should be stepped on, walked over, disrespected, and it took a lot of courage to leave, because I have 4 kids with this gentleman, right? I realized when I saw my children abusing me, that was like the light that went on. The light bulb. Right, because abuse is the learned behavior, right? And I said, I got to get out. God opened up doors for me. I went back to school. I got my master's in psychology. Lived at the university, cried, wrote papers, and that was my place of healing, understanding human behavior. Relating, talking about my story helps me heal, and I have so many other single mothers that gravitate towards me because of the trauma that they've lived through. And you know, it's not okay to be abused, whether it's verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally. It's not okay, absolutely not. And that's, you know, what we need to teach others, even the children. They think it's okay to talk back to your mother. No, it's not okay. It's where's respect.
Don't you, for youth and single moms? That's when I met you. I didn't know you did all of these other things when I met you.
Well, I have my real estate license. I have my mortgage license. That's what I do during the day to pay my bills. But what I've lived through, I just kept hearing God tell me, start a charity for single mothers, because I have so many mothers that just come to me, resources. I mean, there's resources out there that I didn't even know about. So we started a charity called Empowering Single Mothers Foundation. I just got the 501c3. And what we want to do is we want to empower the women and the children and help them in whatever capacity that they need help with in their life. Kind of, you know, provide them a step up. Everybody has a passion in life. Everybody has something that makes them happy. We're all here for a purpose, right? What is that purpose? Well, the husband's supposed to help you, right, if you're in a healthy marriage. But you know what? We're here for a purpose, and I'm here to help extract what that purpose is with every woman. And I want to empower women, whether it's if you have a business, let's franchise that business. I have connections that can help franchise your business free of cost. You know, I have a lot of resources, and that's what God told me to do, and I'm being obedient.
Sally?
I have to say something, because, you know, I obviously have no program and predict what's going to be happening. But what I always say, nothing is coincidental. There's 4 of us sitting here, and we each have a story which is maybe a different outcome, but we've all been abused in our own way by our husbands. Because I do know a little of Karen, I know a little bit of you, and now I'm hearing you. Mine too. I mean, mine was mental abuse, but it was really, really bad, which is basically, I can't say it's the same as physical, but it's abuse. How come we're all sitting here wanting to write a book and have this message for women? I said to you the other day, women, it's very, very important. I don't believe in coincidences. I say on my show that too, but I'm not on my show right now, and yet I'm still seeing it. It's incredible, Dawn. It's incredible.
So what is your collective telling you right now about all of this happening?
They're telling me to speak up, as I am now. How that goes, I don't know, but we each individually have a story. Mine may be different to yours. I mean, I came to this country not knowing anybody and having everything taken from me, including my kids, just a little bit, from my ex-husband at that point, because I decided to divorce him after the years of mental abuse. But I survived, and here I am many years later, and your story, yours and yours. We can't ignore that. I don't believe we should. I'm telling a different story, but I also believe that there is a story here with us, 4 of us. Absolutely, absolutely.
And I do believe, because as women, and maybe for men too, well, you had a bad divorce and you have to keep going, right? We have to put on you say your clothes, you got to get dressed, you have to play the part and go on with life as if nothing happened. And all of this abuse gets pushed down because it wasn't okay to talk about. But now it's okay
But
to
today,
talk
I
about.
believe it is, Dawn. It is. I mean, I would walk around not knowing anyone. I'm in a strange country with nothing, having had everything, which, you know, part of my story. I don't really relay it too much on the when I talk. But I also knew, part of me, that I had to smile. Because if I didn't, and I love the saying, fake it till you make it, because if you don't smile, who in the world wants to talk to you if all it is depression? So it took many years, of course, and so much I'm grateful for today of what's happened to me over those years, of people that have shown up in my life just at the right time. I was ready to receive that, and I think that's part of a message too for each one of us sitting here right now.
Linda, I think you came on the perfect day.
You did, Lynn. Linda.
And I'm excited because Linda actually came and had a reading with Sally in the
Yes.
studio. Don't tell us about the reading, but how was the reading?
It was fabulous. She had just done a show. She was a little tired, but I think your husband pushed you a little bit, but we did about a half hour, and it was fabulous.
Did it give you some of the clarity or things you were looking to be answered or validation?
Validation. It was all about validation, I thought.
Thank you.
It was great.
Well, giving guidance to what you've been through and giving guidance to those, to give them the information is always unique. You know, it sort of clarifies how you're going to do it, why you're going to do it, and at the end of the day, you know, that journey is going to shift and turn and everything else. I didn't know about Amazing Grace. I didn't know about her story. I had no idea. I know a little bit about Karen. And Linda, we met her, I think this is the second day.
So I can't say you're the only man because he's popping in and out, but as the only man on the set.
It's hurtful.
That's what my question.
It's hurtful, and you know, if I can apologize for every man today, I would do that because it's just not right. You know, I grew up with a sister, and nobody touched my sister. Forget about my mom. That was my father was never like that, but my sister grew up in that behavior, and me and my brother told her husband, one thing we ask you is you never touch my sister. Don't. And trust you me when I tell you that. He never did. But the bottom line here is that you shouldn't have to do that. You know, and again, I apologize for men. I'm sitting here sort of screaming in my chair because there's really no excuse for that in any way. I mean, I think the personalities in here on the opposite side could write a book, cheerleaders for growth and happiness and everything else, and a movie. But it's a shame that to get to this point today that we had to go through all this misery.
You know, Wendy did a book from Elite Foundation of survivors of human trafficking. I feel as if you've got a whole book here on different chapters on resiliency, because I told Karen, it's not about being a victim. It's about the resiliency and how you come back and the messages that you share. And forgiveness. I don't know how you forgive something like that, but apparently you can and you do. Karen?
Honestly, for me, forgiveness has been the number one thing in my whole life.
Is your mic on, honey? See green light? Oh. Now it is. Let's try again.
Okay, honestly, forgiveness has been like the number one thing in my whole life. I've had to forgive from my childhood to my adult years, and honestly, like I was telling Freddie, in 11 days will be my son's 5-year death anniversary, and in order to get through the loss of my child, his tragic death, I had to forgive the killer. As hard as that is to understand in a human's mind, how do you forgive somebody for taking your child in the way he did? You just have to, you know, say I forgive you and let it to God, give it up to God, and God helps you heal. So I feel like, you know, it's going to be 5 years, but I've been able to heal. I've been able to put it behind me. It's a loss that you never get through, losing a child, but you accept it, and you find the resilience to keep going forward and moving on.
That's the other thread of today's show. How many women in here have lost children that sit on this set? And how they keep going.
And everybody in here, I think, lost somebody. Now that I hear Amazing Grace lost a child as well. Everybody, one aspect or another, lost somebody. You know, it never makes sense until it does. And when you get the courage to be able to say, you know, today I want to write about a book, I want to talk about music or do something to encourage others not to do this, do it this way. You know, and the opposite goes for people to learn behavior as well. You know, don't think you're going to get married to somebody because they become your official punching bag. That's not what marriage is about. I'd rather just don't get married.
I think someone said to me, no more being a doormat. I don't remember which lady it was on this side, but no more being a doormat.
It's just it. And sometimes you're going to have to stand your ground.
Speak your truth.
Don't get married. Listen.
Sometimes, because as people know, I lost my daughter about 6 months ago now. But what I learned from her was she knew she was passing. She only had 6 months of her life from the time she was diagnosed to the time she passed. But she never complained. The strength that she had gave me strength. And there was a lesson to learn in that. Obviously, it was different from your son, and I'm not sure of your story, but I know you lost a child. And it helped me because I had to be strong. I couldn't sit there crying. And she said to me when she was in hospice, it's so warm here, but it's good because by Christmas I won't be here. And to me, I still hear those words. That strength was amazing. So I knew I had to be strong, and it's helped me a lot.
You all
for
have
anybody
messages.
else that, is going through that, because my message is for other people. Me, I've gone through it, but if I can help as far as that goes, I will.
We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, let's see how we can incorporate resiliency and hope and forgiveness into going forward. How do we take these ladies' messages and give you some hope? 888-994-4995, Studio A. And we'll be right back.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Wait. I can make paper airplanes too.
Because G-Man Abraham did his debut yesterday.
How
and
did
this
we
was
miss
part
it,
of
by the way?
Because we were in there doing the interview.
Is that when he did it?
Yeah. And there's a few things I want to talk to him about. That part I found hilarious.
I was scrubbing through the show last night, and I thought, when did this happen, and where did all these pieces come from?
They got it from different shorts that they do in the studio. But it was just amazing, these two, because they also did the video for Triple C, which everybody loves, by the way. And I was telling them, I was saying, you know, sometimes something works, though you think it doesn't work, it does work. And they got good chemistry. She's hilarious with the face, and this Mr. Mugu over here is tremendous, but good stuff. That
So
was
a lot of
funny.
our crew there, since they are film students, they're all doing their midterms and final projects, so they're doing different shorts. So that one is created by, we call her Nickelodeon, Nicole Bailey, and they did that just a couple weeks ago. Mayor, we should play his as well.
His is 8 minutes, but yes, we could do that.
So we got to play his. I haven't seen it, so we'll pop that in also. All right, so apparently with resiliency comes our singing duo over there. We've got Amazing Grace and Karen. Round two, I guess, as they say.
Round three.
Round three?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're singing, ladies?
Ain't no mountain high.
Ah, always a goodie.
All right, let's get into it.
Don't worry, baby, just call my name. I'll be there in a
I think we should have a mic over here for you. You know,
I always feel
you
so
do
bad
all the
when
singing from here.
I always feel bad when our sound ops are listening to me on the preview because here I sit singing. Every time somebody's singing and they're thinking, oh gosh, she really should not
I
be
think I'm
singing.
gonna have a mic here so you can sing a little background.
I got a mic right here. We're all good.
Next time, open Dawn's mic so they can hear you.
We got to bring Johnny Melnick back in, I was thinking.
Johnny's actually watching. Happy birthday to Johnny.
Happy
belated.
birthday,
It
Johnny
was on
Melnick.
Saturday.
All right. Happy birthday, Johnny. So there you have it. We
So there
went
you go.
through all the sadness, all the pain.
And
now
then
on the other
come on
side
and
of
start
this,
singing.
you got to sing, and there's a message of hope and resiliency because if there weren't, they all wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Well, the good thing is that, you know, they've learned from the experience. You move on and you have a little fun. There's no such thing as no. I love that. I can't.
Doesn't exist.
I don't, in this house, we never say can't. And they will tell you that I don't want to hear can't. And they'll go, I ask them to do something and they'll go, okay. Yes is the right answer. And you do that, you have fun.
find
You
a
should
way.
have fun, you should sing. And if you want, we'll get one of those scuba.
So no one know it's me?
The scuba masks. No, because you want to be underwater, not fill it with water.
I think I'm
And
always
you breathe out of your
underwater.
mouth.
Ever go snorkeling?
Once.
I've never been. Maybe.
And there was a school of jellyfish. So I went down to avoid the school.
And you found a shark.
I didn't know that that tube
Doesn't go
you
down.
swallow water. I was
The water goes
drowned.
in the top.
I was like,
Yes.
oh, Lord help me. Then I did it again, and then I went into the jellyfish. That was the end of that.
That was the end of your scuba diving.
That's it. I took it, I burned it.
Did you scuba?
I don't even boopa.
No booba, no scuba, just snorkeling.
There's the point.
I love that piece that you guys put together. That was nice, Josh and Katie. You guys
That
are
was-
hilarious.
he-
Nicole,
he's
nice
funny.
job.
He's the and you know, he's always saying I'm bored. That's,
know.
That's the part that I love, because he always says I'm bored. Unless he's doing or moving, you know, he's like a shark, he drowns.
But the coolest thing about it is they did a whole short without any audio.
Yes. Well, they had at the
Other
end.
than he said, I'll make a paper airplane.
I make a paper
You knew
airplane.
exactly the message of the video, the movie, how they did it, the camera angles. You totally got the feel for it without any words. That was pretty amazing.
Oh, and I also want to remind you that if you have to go on the go and you want to listen to us on Spotify, every show is on there as well. I got yelled at yesterday for not letting you know that. Apparently, I'm supposed to tell you. Go to Spotify, the Brooklyn Cafe. You can watch the show on Spotify.
You can listen to it and get all your information. All right, so how are we going to help women, ladies? How are we going to take all these stories? And Linda, I'm
Now
going to
that
go to you.
is the $1 million question.
How do we
There we
make a
go.
positive
This is the one.
impact?
This is the part of
Look,
the show I've been
you notice
waiting
everyone crossed their legs and they're leaning forward. It's that lean in. How do we make a positive difference?
Forgiving doesn't necessarily mean forgetting.
Okay.
True.
You have to learn to put it in a quieter place and work at it. It's not something that happens overnight, forgiveness. And you also have to realize that by not forgiving, you can make yourself sick. All that anger, all that anxiety, all that stuff you've been swallowing, resentment that you've been swallowing for years, turns into very negative things inside of us. So we have to learn to get it out. And, you know, it's a process like anything else.
Sally?
Yes, and for the longest time when I first came here, I really didn't tell too much of my story, but when I did, I didn't realize, but I was forgiving for what had happened to me. And everyone said, how are you able to smile? Because that was very important. But I said, if I keep thinking of what happens to me, which I talk about on my show, I'm bringing it into my now where I am now. And I don't want my now to carry over to what happened to me before. So I had to start a different way. Yeah, and I do forget. I forget a lot. But I feel very strong about telling people this story because people say, well, how do you ever look at, you know, you might be watching this show. I don't know. I don't think so. But how do you just forgive someone that's done so very much to you? But then I say to myself, I have to. I've got to in my own way. I won't forget, as you said. You can't forget, but that's part of your message because you want to stop other people maybe behaving the way that, well, by telling your story is the best way. It really is. Because you're able to, people that have been through this are able to tell a story. And that story, and each one of us sitting here in this cafe right now, has a story of hope because we're all sitting here and we all have smiles on our face. And that's very important.
Isn't it amazing how it always lines up? People come together in this studio with one message, and no one even knows that it's even coming out, and here it comes. Grace came to sing today. Karen came to do Latin Hustle, and next thing you know, we've got a show on resiliency and hope.
Let's go to Karen.
Well, what I wanted to say is nowadays a lot of people are finding their voices. So a lot of the pain they experience through their childhood or adulthood, they're actually finding, their voice to say, yes, I've been through this, but this doesn't mark who I am. Like, it's not to say, I went through this, feel sorry for me. It's not, like Dawn says, that victim role is put aside, and that, brave, that hero comes out. And I just feel like, when you find your voice and when you're able to tell your story without the pain showing through it, that just shows that you've healed, and you're able to give that message that there is hope and there is a light at the end of the dark tunnel.
And Grace, how about you?
What was the question?
I was waiting for that question.
The question is, how do you continue to help people through your story?
Just as you said, is sharing the story, sharing the message, and your testimony. Because when you're alone, you feel nobody really understands you, and then that kind of spirals into depression, anxiety. You're distant from everybody else. But when we collaborate, like us women here, whether maybe we meet once a month and bring other single mothers together, we can talk with one another, that we're empowering each other, right? Because we've been through a traumatic experience, and we can empathize with that other lady. So sharing the story.
I got a question. Why do you stay? If you were going through this abusive situation, somebody once told me that they felt safe, which I didn't understand. And then it got overburdened, and then it became horrible. It wasn't being safe anymore. It was the illusion of feeling safe. So why do women stay if that's what's going on? Yeah, Karen.
I think a lot of it has to do with the culture, with how their parents were, because a lot of times, like in the Hispanic culture, I can say there's a lot of like women who deal with physical abuse or abuse in the homes, and their husband could be an alcoholic and a player, but the woman still accepts him and stays with him to raise the children, because the man is like the breadwinner, so the woman is the one that cooks and cleans and raises the kids. This is what I've seen in like the Spanish culture. Now you have other cultures that, there's just drugs are involved, alcohol, whatever it is, but there's things that people have to get through, and they either say I don't want this anymore in my life, and they get out of it, or sometimes they're like, that person's gonna change, I'll wait, and you think that by giving them more love or teaching them that they're gonna change, but it's sad because a lot of women do it for their children, just to have the mom and
They're
dad
swapping your
in
mic,
their life.
Mike.
Is it planned to make you feel? What you just said, is it planned that way to make you feel so you don't work, to make you dependent? Is that the synopsis?
As you look at me, I feel it's lack of self-esteem. I think it
Ah.
starts within men, and I'm not putting everybody, obviously everybody is different, but a certain type of man will pick someone who the woman has very low self-esteem. I mean, I had to have had low self-esteem, but when I began to realize who I was, and that was I was married very, very young, but when I realized that I had a voice, I didn't even realize what was happening to me in the early part. I had 2 children at 21. I mean, I was still a child, but I then began to think there has to be a little more to life. I don't have to be so subservient to somebody. I don't have to do these things. So when I started to stand up, and I only say a very little bit of who I really was, that was not a good thing to do to the, let's say, the abuser at that point. So I believe that each one of us in our own way, although the outcome and the situations were different, the message starts with each one of us. And I think that would make a great documentary, from what I can hear here, to show people so they can relate to each one of us, to help people. I say women because it's not always women, but it is women. To show them that they are powerful, they have a voice, because the women that are being abused don't realize that they do.
But then I bring up the question, you ladies feel that way now. I mean, you went through the grind and you got out and you're doing your thing to prove that you were right all along. But when you get young kids that are doing this and they think they're in love and then the abusive patterns begin to develop, do you approach women and say, listen, let me tell you a story? I mean, do you do that?
Well, there's warning signs, but they may not even realize. But by us having
But do you point it out to them, Sally? Do you
Yes.
go up and talk to kids or
Right.
females that are in this position? Would you do that?
I agree, because they don't teach this in schools. Unfortunately, they find out too late, and they're already married with maybe 3 or 4 children.
But
until
if
they
you have
realize
a
what they've done.
friend, if you are a friend and you go to lunch with your female friend and you see these warning signs, are you going to tell her? You are. You have no doubt that you would say, let me tell you something. You have no doubt at all. Knowing that she may say, you know, you're really not my friend because I don't know you, but you're talking to me this way. I'm very happy. And you know she's not. You know it in your life, she's not. Do you still try it? Do you still ask her?
How you relay that message and how you comment on what's going on, your choice of words and how you deliver that message to
That to me is amazing. We talked about this on another show where if you're at lunch and you see the girl's husband with another woman, would you go back and tell the girl? And then you ask, if you saw her with another guy, would you go back and tell him? I got 3 different answers. Remember this thing?
But it's a difference. I think it's a different situation, because if you know your girlfriend's being abused, and I think emotional abuse is just as bad as physical abuse, because nobody sees the scars. You always say you're not bleeding, but you don't know what's going on the inside. And all those triggers that we have, someone says something, someone looks the wrong way, something happens in the house and you know they're going to explode. On the outside, we look great, but on the inside, there's this emotional baggage that we carry, but nobody knows. And that's when you say something.
Yeah, but hold it, time out.
But the hardest thing is
Well, wait a minute.
stopping the generational trauma.
But what about,
like you had to do?
but what
That's
about,
the biggest one.
What about females that are in relationships and there is trauma there that she goes into this relationship and you know her and that trauma is turning to drama and all of a sudden everything becomes an issue. How do you approach that, or do you stay quiet?
Can I tell you that I had been divorced to my husband. We first divorced in 2013, and my best friend, when she heard that I was going to remarry him, she's like, are you sure? Remember everything you went through? Remember?
So you got married a second time?
I got married a second time
Same
with
guy.
the same abusive
Did he
man.
do it again?
Yeah.
But why would you do that?
Because honestly, Freddie, I made the mistake to fall into alcoholism when we first separated.
Okay.
So I got a DUI on Christmas Day with my daughter in the car, and I lost custody of my kids. I had to go through a period where I had to rebuild myself again and regain custody. And I rebuilt my custody with my son, and my daughter was given to him. So he kind of used my daughter as a pawn. Like, if I had sex with him, I'd get to visit with my daughter,
Wow.
or things like that.
Wow.
So in his mentality, it was like, okay, you come around, you give me what I want, I'll let you see the baby. And then he asked me to remarry him, to have the children back into our life, into our marriage. And we were doing good. When we first got remarried, we were going back to church. every Sunday, ushering, going to Bible studies, doing really good until my son gets murdered and he goes back to old behaviors again. And here I am. So it's been 6 years now. We're divorcing now, and I've grown a lot. I've healed, and I thank God that I finally opened my eyes to see this is not the man for me. This is how he hurt me. I have to forgive him. I have to, be happy for my daughter and good for my daughter. So I started, building myself again, and that's where I'm at now.
Wow. She went through the gamut twice.
Well, you all have messages to share. And it's really, I think, stopping it from going from generation to generation. Because our kids, our sons learn if the husband is abusive that this isn't okay behavior because mom continues to stay. And our daughters learn that this is an okay way for me to get into a relationship because mom stayed. And that's all they know. It's breaking that cycle and teaching the right way versus the wrong way. That's the hard, because women are resilient, right? There's hope. You rise from the ashes and you go and you do what we have to do. But if we don't teach our kids the right way, that then it perpetuates, and then our sons continue to do this, and then we watch as mothers and only hope that we can raise the best sons that we can and the best daughters, that they don't walk into the same situation. That's the part that what you did is amazing.
That's very tricky, what Grace has to go through, because she has the boys and she has the one girl. And this is about the girl retracting from life because she sees the abuse.
And you had the same thing, Sally.
It stays very much in my mind. We can't change anyone, but we can change ourselves. And through changing ourselves, sometimes we can change that person, but it's not up to us. We have to be true, and I hear this because of my show too, very much. I mean, I'm out there and I might be getting some very strange comments from people, but I have to be true to myself. I know who I am today. It did not happen overnight. I was lucky enough to be able to have all this happen to me, which helped me develop very strongly into my belief in who I really am. But it didn't happen overnight. But we have to be true to ourselves. Don't lose ourselves in somebody else. That's really, really important.
Well, you got a lot going on, different stages, present, future. I can see it being a challenge, especially if you have the kids and you have the girl and you have the boys, and you have to sort of teach them two different stories out of one incident. And then, because I know that my boys, when I got divorced from Michelle, they had a flipsy life. I was coach, I was dad, I was in their life every day, and then I wasn't. And I didn't get Gio back until he was 14, and Freddie, I didn't get him back till he was 19. And I remember talking to you about my kids don't even talk to me anymore. And it's strange, because I raised those little kids because Michelle was working, and I raised them. And, it wasn't just me, but I'm saying I was there most of the time. It's just bizarre to listen to the story on both sides. I can only imagine, because I met your son, he looks like a level-headed kid, but I can only imagine what you had to go through on the female and the male aspect of this thing, on the children. Same thing with Karen. There are two different issues going on at the same time, and you sort of have to divide yourself to give each one the right attention, and then you got to worry about yourself, which is the other interesting aspect of this thing. And I look at the four of you come today, and we're singing songs and doing things that are not normal. If Linda starts to sing, I'm out of here. But the bottom line is, you are doing it, and that's the part that amazes me. I mean, I can listen to this all day about how you guys have come out of the dark tunnel, and it looks brighter, and the smiles, and and Amazing Grace hugged me when she came in. If it was me, I don't know if I'll ever hug anybody in my life again after hearing what I'm going through, what you ladies are going through. It's just amazing. And I had to credit my sister more than anybody else in my life. My sister will tell you. She used to tell me right from wrong. She used to tell me, this is the way you treat a woman. And she made me do it. And she says, and if you do it wrong, I'm gonna smack you. and she would smack me. And she was my older sister. I gotta tell you, you met Mimi. Mimi was a tough broad, man. Mimi didn't take abuse from nobody. And she used to tell Michelle, my ex-wife, you ain't gonna dance with him, you're gonna dance with me. This is the way he treats women. I treat her like my mom. My mom was in my life longer than any woman will ever be. And if you treat your mom the way you treat your mom, that's how you're going to treat your spouse. That's what I was taught.
Well, look how good your boys treat their wives, and they do.
Like queens. I get shocked, and they say, Dad, what are you talking about? This is what you taught us. And I go, what? So, again, the stories that I'm hearing coming out on the other side, you guys, I got to tip my hat, because you guys are doing it right. And I applaud the fact that you're helping others, because this ain't an easy time right now for the young'uns. It just isn't. This is really, really a hard time right now. And they should listen to what you have to say. I think it's important. And Sally's been doing it now for a couple of months as well. Karen is cutting her teeth on doing it, not only in English, she's doing it in the Hispanic community, which needs more help than anybody. And I'm talking to a Latino. I am a Latino. And I love my cultura. I do. I love my culture. Man, but we got a lot to learn. Men, machismonism, all that got to go away. It's just got to go away. And she knows what I'm talking about, right?
She's laughing. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I think Bernard's floating around here somewhere. Russ might still be here.
Let's find out.
See what else we've got going on. It's all about hope and resilience, and hopefully, no pun intended, we spread a good message today.
Let's see what happens. We're going to see if we can get Sally to sing next.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days. All in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
Are you compromising your medical care for doctors out of your network? Are you tired of dealing with referrals to see a specialist? Are you aware that you can save up to $155 a month on your Medicare premiums? You need an all-in-one benefits company that can help with all of your Medicare plan needs. Call today, All-in-One Benefits Group at 954-614-5488. We're here to find an all-in-one plan for you. 954-614-5488. Call today for open enrollment.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I lost my wand somewhere. Okay. Let's get ready to rumble. I can't say that, sorry.
Very nice. There's the man, the myth, the legend.
And he's back. You know, days start off a little quiet
It's
here,
funny,
but they
Josh,
pick up.
I never know what he's going to play. And I don't know when that's going to happen either. I don't know.
Every time I play something, she has to walk up.
Because she has to up you. That's right. Welcome to a man's world.
They all want to do a feeling circle, Katie, so you'll be very interested.
What's the song? It's a man's world until a woman took it over or something like that?
You know what I was listening to the lyrics of today? Victoria's Secret. Have you ever heard that song, Victoria's Secret? I had never listened to the lyrics. And she says, I know Victoria's Secret was created by a man in Ohio about, you know, taking advantage of women and girls who don't eat and skin and bones and boobs. I thought, wow. I had never listened to the lyrics
I never
until
quite heard
today.
the saying skin and bones and boobs. But thank you for playing.
What it talks about. The
Skin and bones and boobs.
Victoria's
Skin,
Secret.
bones,
Because you
and
don't
boobs.
eat, so you're only skin and bones, but you got boobs. Or you're enhanced with the boobs. So it's all about Victoria's
is
Secret
that
was
like a
created by a man in Ohio, according to this song.
Is that like a subject?
Yes.
Skin, bone, and boobs?
Yes.
So is that like a thing, or you're making that up?
It's a total thing for
And
girls.
how come nobody gives you the horns on that about saying
Because it's
something like
true.
that?
Any woman knows what it's like to try to squeeze into the Victoria's Secret size, or to have a daughter who looks at all of these images, and these girls are skin and bones because they're not eating. But Victoria's Secret, they're skinny, they're all enhanced, and we all want it to aspire to look like that.
Is that true? You guys want to look like Victoria's Secret model?
So you really can't.
No, you really do? No.
I think it's sending the wrong message.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I married, my first wife was a model. Worst experience in the world.
But I never listened to the lyrics of that song, and I thought that's so true. And she's finally
You
saying,
make up lyrics anyway.
Well, that's
I
true,
heard
too.
you singing the other day, and that's not the worst of the song.
You're right. I just saw the lyrics. It says, cashing in on body issues, selling skin and bones with big boobs on the Victoria's Secret lyrics.
Yep. I think they're telling you something. I don't know what they're telling you.
Amazing.
Anyway, we got Bernie is joining us, and Grace
Bernie's
has
with
moved
Amazing Grace in the couch.
Amazing Grace on the other side.
We got it on camera 3.
Let's see if we got them on. What were you guys chatting about? The cruise?
Bernie, my head is still spinning. I was asking him about the email he sent this morning about the yacht.
Does he sleep?
So he says, forget about the yacht. I got a bigger boat. I got a boat with a museum on it. I'm still trying to put my fingers all over the yacht. Forget about the yacht.
How you doing over there, Bernie?
Good.
He's quiet today.
Freddie, that there's a yacht. It's called Seafair, and it's actually a floating museum with fine art, fine jewelry, and fine antiques.
Wow.
And I'm involved with that project. It's called Seafair.
And where's that ship located?
It travels all over the world. It's one of the largest floating museums in the world.
Maybe that's the boat.
I'm also involved with another company called Sea Dream. It's very, very exclusive yacht for the rich and famous, and that was a different type of yacht with a different type of program. So I'll talk more about that at another time.
But we have a networking event coming up next Tuesday at the Meatball Room, correct?
Yes, and all our viewers are invited to attend. You'll meet local celebrities, including myself and Ms. Granda. There'll be sampling of food. There'll also be a business card exchange. It's right here in Boca. You mentioned my name, Bernard Korn, Grace Granda, Freddie and Dawn. It's free admission. We get together, we have a good time, and we'll have other events that we'll be inviting all the viewers to attend. There'll never be a cost if you're a viewer, and you will be invited to all kinds of networking events, not only locally, but throughout South Florida, throughout the state, and throughout the United States.
And you fill a venue.
We will welcome everyone to come and meet with us, have fun, and do some business.
He does fill a venue. I got to admit to
He's
that.
a man of his word. I got to tell you that, right?
I want to make the cafe Rat Pack so that when we go to these venues, we go like with strength and numbers and give experience. I think
Okay.
there's no better experience than what we went to at Meisner. He was gracious enough to invite us as well. And this thing about networking, it's come at a time right now when as much networking you can do, you do. And it's really the nature of the beast right now.
Yep.
So
Keep going. Well, it's always been a pleasure to have Bernie in here. I don't know. Do you sleep, Bernie?
Very little. And I'm here also to announce that the Brooklyn Cafe is now an official fine arts and fine antiques gallery right here in the studio. And so we'll be doing incredible events. We'll be bringing a whole new concept to the art and antique world. And we're going to invite people. You can now own the finest art for a fraction of the price. We will finance it, and we will help you invest in art, antiques, not only as a hobby, but also as a business. It's a whole new program, and we will be doing events right here in the studio starting immediately.
Well, one of our artists is right here.
Amongst other things, yes.
And
Some of my art is here.
And the pencil artist is coming.
He'll be here on Friday.
And who else? We're going to get Carlos involved. It's funny because remember when I told you when we first came, I wanted to bring a boat in here, an antique car, and put it on the floor. So now there's a reason to do it. Now you can sell it.
Yes, because that door actually does open to bring it through the door.
Yeah, like you did for the air conditioning that was 3 feet.
That was crazy, I know.
And you took everything down for 3 feet.
I know, that was kind of crazy. But now we can bring in cars and boats and all
Planes
kinds of
and
fun
trains.
stuff,
And the way trains are going, they keep derailing. Why not put them for antiques?
which will be a lot of fun. Grace, did you have fun today?
I did. Thank you.
She got to
Thank
sing
you,
twice.
Freddie and Dawn, and wonderful meeting you ladies.
And Sally, what's your message of the day?
I think we've actually spread the message. I think it's of hope, gratitude. Nothing is coincidental, as I always say. So here we are. I don't believe this was coincidental. And walk around with a smile on your face, right?
You always seem happy.
I'm not always, but I certainly try to be, yes.
She got married. Of course she's happy.
Yeah, I got married just a few months ago. I'm happy.
You inspire Katie every day.
That's great. I love to hear that. You
and
know,
Linda, it has been a pleasure to meet you, to learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you, Dawn.
And hopefully we'll get to see more of you. See what else we got going on. We're going to see her Saturday night, actually.
Yes.
At an
went to
event.
the birthday party.
And you, Miss Karen, what's on the horizon?
Well, we're
Latin Hustle.
Latin Hustle. We're getting, the message out there, what we do, what we offer for the Spanish community. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have more people on the show.
Bernie, you speak Spanish?
Sí, yo hablo español. I actually
He's Cuban.
spent 5 years in Havana, Cuba. My mother, Cuban. And it's a great story that I'm going to tell it on this network.
You're actually going to tell it. Can you stay a little bit?
I could stay until tomorrow.
Okay. Karen, you're going to be doing
I'll
the
sleep
show
on the
after we
couch
finish
that I'm
up
sitting
here.
on.
Oh, we're gonna do the Latin Hustle
With Bernie.
with Bernie. That's like a whole
With
show in
Bernie
itself.
Korn, I know.
That's like a show in itself.
All right, so more coming out. To our crew, thank you so much. And to our Hope Hearts, we've been spreading a little bit more hope.
I
We've
saw
got
that.
those.
People are picking them.
Everyone's got their Hope Hearts today. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Tune in to the Latin Hustle coming to you at 2:30 with Karen, and Bernie Korn's going to be joining us. Maybe Grace will be there as well. And tonight you've got Sarah Spiritual at 6:30, correct?
Correct.
So any other questions you've got, let us know. And Sally is available for readings right here at the studio. And your email is callmezina1111@gmail.com.
Thank you. We just
It's a new one.
Come and get your books. Frank's Ruffolo's books are on the shelves here for purchase. Come on down, buy a book, and get in the game, as they say.
And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time. Have a great day, everyone.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.